Welcome back. In this point, we're going to learn about how to use the Chinese word 有, and it means sometimes to have, and other times it means to exist. And so we'll talk about possession, to have, and we'll talk about existence. This is what it looks like in Pinyin, 有, and looks like this in Chinese characters. So I'm going to give you some examples of how it acts when it means to have, possession. 你有狗吗? Two third tones. Remember that the first of them becomes like a second tone. So I didn't write it that way, but it goes up. Actually, there's three in a row. So it's 你有狗吗? 你有狗吗? And it means you have dog ma. So you have dog, statement, and then putting a ma makes it a question. So do you have a dog is the English translation. So it means to have. 我有很多同学. 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 It means I have 很多 very many 同学 classmates. I have very many classmates. 我有很多同学. So it means to have, to own or possess. And so that's one usage of the verb. And the other usage of the verb is to exist. So let me give that, what does that mean? It means it's a way to express that something exists there, or it is there, or there are many of them, or that kind of thing. So 这里有肉. 这里 means here, 有肉. So 有肉. So I almost said have, but that's not how you would translate it. It means here is meat, or meat is here. It's like here's some meat. Here is meat. 这里有肉. There's meat here. That's how you would say it in English. There's meat here. 这里有肉. And then, so it doesn't mean have, it means to exist. To exist. 学校有很多人. 学校, school, or the school. 有, to exist. 很多人. So the school, 有很多 means there are many people. So the school, 有很多人, means that it's like saying the school has many people, but of course the school doesn't have them. It's saying that there are people in the school. So there's a lot of people in the school. Or there's a lot of people at the school, something like that. 学校有很多人. So I want to just make a point about this phrase, 有很多人. So there could be no subject in the statement, and it could just be there are many people, 有很多人. So in this case, it's the school has many people, or there are many people in the school. But it could just be 有很多人. So that's one way to say there are many people. But in Chinese, it's probably more common in this situation to say it this way. 人很多. This is a little bit more advanced for advanced students. 人很多 means people are very many. So there's no are, there's no 是 verb because this is an adjective. It's a predicate adjective. 人很多 means people are many. So actually in Chinese, you can when you're trying to express like, whoa, there's so many of this or whatever, it's probably more common to say this thing are many rather than there are many of this thing. There's many of them. I don't know if that makes sense, but hopefully that's helpful. Now we're going to learn about a powerful little particle called de and what it means. So it's actually it's used as a grammatical marker, and I will explain some of its uses. So here it is. This is the character, and it's pronounced de, not de. Okay, so here's the deal. The de does have some peripheral uses that you'll learn about in the future, but its main usage, and it applies in a couple different ways, its main usage is to mark an adjective. So it comes after the adjective. It comes between an adjective and the noun it modifies. So it's like adjective, the noun. And so it tells the listener that we have this is an adjective. We just said a word, and then we have a de, and then we have a noun. And so now we know that this word over here was an adjective. And that's its main use. By the way, adjectives, they go before nouns and they modify nouns. So that's what they are. And here's a couple examples. 是很好的人. So that means there's an understood subject. There's no subject in this sentence, which is okay in Chinese, but in context it would be understood. 是很好的人. It's like it is very good a person. So 很好 is an adjective. It's actually an adverb-adjective combo, but it's an adjective. 是很好的人 is very good 的人. So very good it means that it's an adjective. So we're talking about somebody. 她是漂亮的女人. she. Notice if you're learning characters that there's a little female radical, new radical right here that indicates this ta is referring to a woman or female, not to a man or an it. So she, 她是漂亮的女人. Beautiful, the woman, 女人 means female person. 她是, you know how Chinese, I love it, it's just building blocks, right? Female person is woman. 她是漂亮的女人. So this the indicates that this right here is an adjective. That's the function of the. Now, having said all of that, I want to teach you an expression of that, how the can be used to make a possessive pronoun. So it's still marking an adjective, but it's a special kind of adjective that's possessive. So in English, we say my. So this is my dog, 我的狗, 我的狗. So I, this is I, you know the pronoun for I, 我, 的狗. So the, if it follows a pronoun, it makes that pronoun into a possessive. So mine, my dog. 你的笔, your pen, 你的笔. So here's the pinyin for that. 你的笔. I put it side by side here. 你的笔, your pen. 她的家, her, 她的家, her home, or yeah, her home. 家 is home. So 她的家, because the the comes after ta, it makes the ta into a possessive, her home. 她的家人, it means her, 家人 is home people, family. 她的家人, her family. So of course, these aren't whole sentences, but they would be put into a sentence. Like, 她的家很漂亮. Her home is very beautiful. 她的家很漂亮. Okay, so the is used to mark an adjective. It's used to make a possessive pronoun, a pronoun into a possessive. But it is dropped sometimes. I want to give you a couple of key times when it's dropped. So it's actually dropped out of the phrase sometimes. And so basically the first, in the fifth example here, 好人 means good person. When the adjective is only one syllable, basically it's the the is always dropped. So it's 好人 is a good person, good guy, good woman, whatever. 好人, good person. This is a one syllable adjective, so the the is dropped. So that's almost always true. Then there's an optional dropping of the in the possessive category when the relationship between the pronoun, actually it doesn't have to be a pronoun. It could be a possessive of anything. I should have mentioned that, given that kind of example. If for example, if it's the teacher's friend, 老师的朋友. So teacher 的朋友 means teacher's friend. So it's not just a possessive pronoun, it's also a possessive of anything. So that's very important to mention. Sorry about that. And so if the relationship between the possessive noun and the noun that's possessed is very close, the is optionally and often dropped. It just sounds more familiar and comfortable and kind of emphasizes the closeness. For example, if I say my friend, usually friends are close, I could say 我朋友, my friend, rather than 我的朋友. Now 我的朋友 is also correct, it's not wrong. It just sounds a little more formal, and it's very common to drop the when the relationship in the possessive relationship is very close. So here we have her home. So person and its home is very close. So this the is optional. You can say 她的家, or you can say 她家. Same here, family and a person are very close. So 她的家人, you can say that, her family, or you can say 她家人, her family. So those are some. Now I'm gonna say something that is just for more advanced students that came to my mind as I was going through this. This whole little rule about dropping the when there's only one adjective, one syllable adjective. It makes it makes sense. It explains why some complexities when you're talking about colors of something. So if I say the blue car, so 蓝车, if I just do 蓝车, I don't say 蓝的车 because it's a one syllable adjective, 蓝车. So blue car. But if you can also say 蓝色的车, and in that case 蓝色 is longer, it's blue color, and it's actually kind of a noun, but because you put a the there, it makes it into an adjective. So you have to have the the, 蓝色的车. And then, yeah, we'll stop there. So that just explains that little piece right there. Hope that helps.